Okay, so two things. Well, what we actually be studying, and this is, if parents are watching, this is the key area I imagine you're interested in. Okay, so at present we offer two different levels of program. The first one is the level one, level two, first certificate in sport. That is for those students who've maybe not quite achieved as well as they could in the GCSEs. So you'll be doing that, and in particular for those who've not necessarily done well in maths and English. So alongside that program, you will sit your GCSE maths or English or both again. And again, we've had some students in the past who've had to come and do that with us and then progressed on to the level 3 and then on to university after that. It's just a small blip in your progress towards your chosen career choice. Others who are listening to this presentation, yep, you've done well in your GCSEs, you've got the grades you want, and you'll be doing a level 3 diploma in sport, which is run by Pearson. Alongside that, you'll also do Sports Leaders UK qualification. It's sort of a beginning, an introduction to coaching and the skills needed to be an effective coach and leader of sports people. All right. And alongside that, we will also get you qualified to become a first aider, and you'll do some relevant work experience whilst you're with us within the sports industry. And that's the key. It's pointless doing work experience in areas that you aren't necessarily interested in. So we want you to go out there and fulfill this work experience in industry that potentially you could end up working for your chosen career. So that could be primary school teaching, secondary school teaching, whether you want to become a physio, whether you want to work in a leisure centre, become a leisure centre manager, or indeed if you want to become a sports agent or work in sports development. We try and get these opportunities for you so that you can actually experience what it's like to work in that real world and what the skills that you need to build upon over the coming couple of years to become the career you want. Okay. And again, we'll talk a lot more about that when you join us in September. So, welcome to the Trafford College. One of the things that you'll know from living in the area is that Manchester really is a centre of sport. Probably one of the best cities for sport in the entire country. So you're very fortunate to live within the Manchester boundary. There are a lot of colleges in other parts of the country where they don't have access to the same sort of facilities and experiences as what you guys have in Manchester. For instance, as you see from the pictures, the velodrome over in the Etihad Sports Village, where obviously British cycling are based, but there's also a whole host of other sports that you can do there, such as mountain biking. You can also play handball there, five-side football, netball. All takes place within the facility that's there. Obviously, the pitch in the squad, probably the reason that Manchester is so famous for sport is its two football clubs, United and City. And I'm sure the majority of you who are watching this support one of either of the teams. Other sports that are available within the city, basketball I mentioned, but swimming, we have the aquatic centre that was built for the Commonwealth Games in 2002, which is host to a lot of high-level swimming. And I imagine some of you might be using facilities like that for the sports that you're interested in. Over the past few years, we have had a number of students from a whole host of different sports who are excelling in the sport in question. Okay, we'll start with the level 1, level 2 certificate in sport first. These are the modules that you will be studying with us over the year. It is only a year course, but it is quite intense. And You'll notice that two of them are exams. Now, the two exams, they are modules that you have to take. All right, so written down, set by the examining board. You have to take these two modules. They are compulsory. So wherever you choose to study your level 2 BTEC in sport, and you will need to do these two exams. Unit 1, fitness for sport and exercise, and Unit 7, anatomy and physiology for sports performance. Okay, so this year's level 2s that have just left us now, they have done this for the first time this year, and they've been quite pleased, I think, with how we've set the course up. They did one exam, one of the exams around Christmas time, which was the fitness for sport and exercise. And then they were just getting ready to do the second one in June, obviously before COVID-19 hit. And so we've had to award the grades similarly to how we've awarded, you will have received your GCSE grades. On top of that, there's a host of other modules that we've chosen for you to do. Now, these are all assessed by coursework and practical elements to them. We've tried to cover every element of sport in there. So there is some obviously practical element, which is key. And there is some elements of personal training, some lifestyle, and one of the more fun modules to study, injury. Yeah, looking at how injury affects performers and how you can recover from it and the effects that the injury might have on you as a player moving forward, but also potentially on athletes if you go into a coaching role. How can you help an athlete overcome injury, make them stronger so that the injury doesn't happen again, or to build them up stronger so that they can cope mentally with injury? Because that's sometimes the bigger barrier. Going in for that first tackle in whatever sport after you've suffered an injury beforehand, is your body strong enough to cope with that impact? Are you mentally strong enough to cope with that impact? I know that in my own sporting career, when I've been injured and I've broken bones playing sport, that dealing with that injury, that first challenge afterwards, there is that bit at the back of your mind that seeps in that you then have to get over just to enjoy playing properly again. The modules will be split across the year. So you'll average out that you're doing probably 1 to 2 assignments every couple of weeks, basically. And they'll be expected that you're handing them in on time so that it can be assessed by your tutors, so that you can see your progress over the course of the year. Hopefully, at the end of the year, you'll come away with a qualification that will mean that you are entitled then, obviously, to jump onto the level 3 course and continue your progression. As I said to you earlier, you will do your GCSE maths, English, or even both of them alongside this course. And they'll be built into your timetable. So there will be some time spent throughout the course of the year where you're in a maths class or an English class, more than likely with other sports students as well. Okay. Now, the level 3. So again, this is for your students who've done quite well in GCSEs. You've gained your maths and English qualification, and you are looking at the next step in your career pathway. Okay. Now, this course is a brand new course for this year. So we've been teaching a specific framework over the last few years, but this year we've had to move on to a new style framework. As you'll see, in the first year, year 1, there are 2 exams that you'll be expected to sit. Okay, so anatomy and physiology and fitness training and programming for health, sport and well-being. Okay, so these exams will be separated throughout the year. You'll have a chance to sit them in probably one of them in January and then the other one in June. And hopefully you'll gain the best grade that you can. You'll put the effort in, because generally effort into these exams means reward at the end of the day. As well as that, during this year, you'll study 2 other units: professional development in the sports industry, and then application of fitness testing. Okay. These will be fun units, assessed generally via coursework, and so you'll build up a portfolio of grades over the course of the year, which will set you in good stead for the following year. Go on to year 2. Don't want to bore you too much with year 2 at the moment. As you can see, 4 units that you'll study in year 2: sports leadership, sports event organisation, investigating business in sport and the active leisure industry. Again, this is a compulsory module. And then finally, skill acquisition in sport. Okay. How will you be assessed? As I've said, external exams will form a part of your grade this year. Coursework. The coursework could take many different forms. Yeah, there'll be the traditional essay that you'll have to write on a specific subject, where you've got to hit some certain criteria, cover some key terminology to be awarded your grade. On top of that, presentations. Typically, we tend to do presentations in groups, so 2s, maybe 3s, and very occasionally 4s, and you'll all be expected to work on the presentation, to contribute to its creation, and then obviously deliver it. Typically, these are recorded, so they can be stored as evidence, as well as potentially recorded in front of a live group. So you might be asked questions at the end of the presentation by your peers about what you've just mentioned, and so that you can get feedback, give question, answer, and maybe even a little bit of debate. 2 of the ways that we sometimes assess you, via poster. So you'll come up with create an academic poster. These are really good maybe when we're talking about health guidelines. So sort of thing where you mention a health guideline and you make it attractive to try and sell a particular idea to the general public. And then finally, professional discussion. This is where you'll sit down with a lecturer and you'll have a discussion around a particular topic, where you'll again try and cover certain key terminology that relates to that topic, so that both of you, so that you as a student, get a great idea, get grades that you want to get. And then finally, there will be a lot of practical. Okay, so delivery of sessions, where you might lead the sessions. Yeah, you'll be expected to coach other students, to lead, to create a session plan, to create a lesson that you will then deliver to a group of other students. That will form quite a large part of your time at the college. We do like to throw you in at the deep end, give you the opportunity, give these skills that you might need, then get you going on this coaching, this leadership idea as soon as we can. It's really important that you develop these skills. They'll not only help you in a sporting context, but they'll also help you with your own life skills, the ability to stand there and deliver something to other people. Now, I'm sure it'll fill you with fear, and it does everybody. Yeah, not everybody is really good at delivering them leadership, them coaching sessions, but you can work on it and you can become stronger and a better deliverer the more that you try, the more that you attempt it. And somebody who comes to us in September this year, I imagine you're quite scared about delivering in front of another group, but by the end of the time with us, I'm sure you'll be a lot more confident and a lot more capable. Okay, so you might ask, what does a typical day look like? Right, so we have, as I said, we use real world sporting examples, but we also use maybe videos off the internet, in our class, in our sessions, that you can look at, watch, and then analyze. And then we have a discussion around what you've seen on that video. All right. So what we've set up next is, on the next slide, we've set up a little scenario. It's been recorded by the Olympic channel. And what are the key things that an elite level sprinter may need to have in terms of their anatomy and their physiology? Okay. What are the physical demands that you need for your sport? Yeah. So think, when you're watching this, think about your own sport, whether it be football, rugby, hockey, tennis, karate, a martial art, climbing, any sport. What are the key attributes that you need to have to make it in your sport? Yeah. What made Usain Bolt the fastest man ever? What made David Beckham a really successful footballer? What are the key attributes that makes Lionel Messi the greatest of all time? Now, I'm sure a lot of you are sat there now saying, nah, Cristiano Ronaldo's the greatest of all time. But there are others throughout history. Yeah, Pele, maybe he was the greatest of all time. These, again, the sort of discussions that we'll have about what it is that makes an elite athlete. So, on this slide, you'll see there's a YouTube clip. It is available on YouTube. Okay, it's only 10 minutes long, and it talks on it. It's Lolo Jones, who herself was a very famous American sprinter. She's the presenter. She's discussing with athlete Tori Bowie on what it actually makes to become an Olympian. Now, Tori not only competed at the Olympics, every sports person's dream. She actually medaled, and she can call herself an Olympic gold medalist. Okay. Watch the clip. Okay. If it doesn't play, search her on Google. Yeah. Anatomy of a sprinter. As I mentioned to you at the start, one of the things that we do run in the college, which is maybe slightly different to other colleges, is we run a sports leaders program. Now, this is underwritten by Sports Leaders UK. It has UCAS points attached to it. So for those of you who are interested in university after your 2 years with us, they give you UCAS points for completing this course. And it is a coaching / leadership course, looking at how you interact with others, how you develop others, and how you develop yourself as an individual. Yeah. How do you reflect on your performance? Right. So during the course of this program, you'll deliver sessions to other students, not necessarily within our college, but other students from other areas, from other colleges perhaps. You might look at different age groups, and you will look at how you delivered them sessions. What could you do to improve? And this is called reflection. It's really key for those of you interested in leadership and coaching, the ability to reflect on sessions and make them better in the future. We as teachers try and do that all the time. But as a coach, I know in my own coaching career that sometimes things don't go as you plan them. And you have to think on your feet and change. But then afterwards you think, oh, did I really need to change it? Or should I just let it go for a bit longer and maybe see if the players could change it for themselves? These are the things that you need to think about. Anyway, another YouTube clip for you. Have a watch of it. It tells you a little bit more about what Sports Leaders is about and what Sports Leaders will hopefully give for you. Okay.
We've all been sat where you are now, wondering what's around the corner in your education and your career. But what's next? Employers, colleges and universities always ask for a CV with the usual professional skills and experience. What you need to include is something unique about you, something that sets you apart from everyone else. Sports Leaders UK qualifications are a great way of learning life skills and getting something on your CV. There's a wide range of qualifications and awards, so there's a course for everyone. But don't take my word for it. Here's how these qualifications helped a few of our sports leaders from across the UK.
I'd always enjoyed leading sessions with younger people in sports, but I never realised how good it could look on my CV. Sports Leaders UK helped turn the hours I was already committing to into a real qualification. I learned how to be organised and communicate well with others, which helped me with my college work. Being a sports leader has boosted my grades, and along with the 30 UCAS points I got for completing my level 3 qualification, I managed to get into my first choice university. Sports Leaders UK helped me become much more qualified, and not just on paper.
I've always loved helping people, and since I was little I wanted to join the emergency services, but so do a lot of people. My CV was a bit bare and I needed something to help me stand out from the crowd. The volunteering opportunities I came across through being a sports leader have given me lots of experience working with people in the community and really added to my CV. Speaking about this in my interview really helped me get onto the training course. I know I can do anything if I put my mind to it. I could even climb Everest right now. Volunteering in my community opened my eyes to what goes on in everyone else's lives, and I became more community minded.
I always wanted to make something of myself, but I was too shy to really make myself stand out. I needed to come out of my shell. Doing my dance leadership qualifications with Sports Leaders UK gave me a really good experience in being organised and planning my time. Before being a sports leader, I hadn't really done much that I could put on my CV. I was worried that I wouldn't be accepted onto my engineering apprenticeship. Becoming a sports leader gave me those little extra things on my CV that made me more employable, along with a huge confidence boost. I felt like I could wrestle a bear, but I'm glad I stuck to my plan of becoming an engineer, not a bear wrestler. It's a bit safer.
One thing that everyone says about getting a job is that employers want experience. But how are you supposed to get experience if you can't get a job? Well, I got mine by volunteering. I volunteered as part of my Sports Leaders UK qualification and learned how to plan and organise. The skills really helped me get my first job out of college. Sports Leaders UK helped me to teach younger people about staying active, helping them with numeracy and literacy, and improving my skills at the same time. Even though I'm not sporting, by being a sports leader I became more experienced and I found it easier getting a job.
I remember being sat in school and the teachers kept telling me I had to decide what I wanted to do when I left school. But all I wanted to do was play on my computer. I didn't know what I wanted to do because I didn't know what I was good at. I did an award with Sports Leaders UK through school that took me a few hours, and it didn't matter that I wasn't sporty. It gave me loads of confidence and made me realise I loved being outside and helping other people. Plus I became more ambitious at the same time. It even helped me with my everyday little things like babysitting my little brother. Forget my computer, my real life skills levelled up.
I was never really good at school stuff, and my dream was always to be a professional athlete, but I knew I needed something to fall back on. Doing my sport leadership qualification made me realise that there are so many different options to get a job in the world of sport, and the people I met opened up so many doors for me. The leadership skills I learned helped my playing. I became even sportier.
So, you've heard the stories about how a qualification from Sports Leaders UK can help you become more. Now, who wants to be a sports leader?
What you'll experience whilst you're with us in college. Okay, this is a little bit more about the other things that you will do whilst you're with us. Okay, so what you'll experience. Sport England, we have a tackling an activity project where we try to get students not only from the sports department, but students from around the entire college to get active within sport. So we run a series of activities that you can take part in that hopefully will give you some new different skills, different challenges for you to overcome. Things we've run this year is we've bought in some bikes that you placed under the desk so that you can be active while you're sat in a lesson, and you can complete challenges while you're doing it. We've also done some running where we've set up a course for the students to take part in. But these activities change from time to time. It's about what becomes available to us. So we have a dedicated couple of members of staff who look into this and set up the different activities. They run a lot of lunchtime sports programs, some different activity programs for you to take part in, including things like Zumba. Yeah, so if you enjoy dancing, we run Zumba classes. GMCG. I imagine none of you have heard of what GMCG is. So GMCG is the Greater Manchester Colleges Games. It's a competition. Okay, it's where all of the colleges around Greater Manchester come together and they compete against each other. Okay, so for the last 2 years, we have been the winners. Yeah, the college. We've entered the team and we've done very well. Okay, this year again we were actually supposed to host the tournament. We put a lot of effort into planning the activities that we wanted to do. Now again, yeah, as with everything, COVID-19 took over and it didn't happen, which is a shame because we put a lot of time into it. Hopefully that'll be back on again next February, March, and again we'll be entering a team, usually around 15, 16 students to compete against the other colleges. And it's not in traditional activities, so it's not as if it's football, or football, rugby. They are sport-related activities. There's quizzes in there, so sports quizzes. There are problem-solving events, that sort of thing, and physical challenges. Okay. Again, we'll talk a lot about that in much more detail throughout the year. Third thing is Coaching Roadshow. So every June, July, we go out into the local community in Trafford and we let you loose, coaching the primary school children within the community. Yeah. So we spend a lot of the time throughout the year giving you the skills to become a good coach, and then we throw you out there and let you get on with it. Okay. We actually give you the opportunity to get some practical coaching. Great for your CVs, great for your experience. Yeah. And if you are wanting to be a coach, something to really sell yourself about. So I mentioned the enrichment activities when I was talking about Sport England. All right. So they happen. We generally have a lunchtime program where you can go and use the fitness suite, or there'll be a physical activity in the sports hall. Obviously, at the minute, we don't know how September will look. Yeah, we're waiting for guidance from government as to what that will look like. But be rest assured that as soon as we can get some sort of enrichment going, we will do. Whether that is use of the fitness suite so that you can burn off some calories, use some of the energy you've got, keep yourself in shape, follow some fitness program, or whether it is some more practical team sport. Okay. On top of that, we have a football team in the AOC competition. For the last 2 years ago, we actually won the division we were in. Last year, unfortunately, the team didn't do as well. That was partly due to the fact that a lot of our team from the previous year were year 2 players, and so they'd left, and there's a bit of a gap in the playing ability of some of the new incoming players. All right, you've probably had enough of me talking now. We're getting towards the end of the presentation, so we thought it'd be a good idea for you to listen to what a current student, so one of our students who's just leaving us now, thinks of the college. Again, it's a YouTube clip. Hopefully you'll be able to access it. But this is Megan. She is just leaving our year 2 group now, off to university in September. But she's enjoyed her experience with us. I'll let Megan do the talking. What
Hi, I'm Megan, and I just finished my second year on the Level 3 BTEC Sport course. But yeah, I chose to do this course because I struggle with exams. However, it's like I have the knowledge for the exams, but I can never portray it in the exam, which means I always get lower grades than I expect or like I hope. So doing this coursework and doing it over the 2 years allowed me to really portray my ability and like the knowledge that I do have, even though it might not be there all the time, I still have that knowledge. But yeah, the assessments and the way that the course is structured, it's really, really good. It has like a variety of different assessments and you complete them different ways, different types of assessments in different groups with different people doing all sorts of stuff, which is really good because you don't really get bored of doing the same routine over and over again because you have different ways to experience it. But yeah, the only advice I would say is make sure you don't leave everything to the last minute, because you can go from days having no assessments to then getting 2 or 3 different assessments that then need to be completed in 2 weeks. So honestly, just keeping on top of your work and making sure you complete your assessments, it really helps in the long run. Plus, I managed to get a 13-week summer on my first year because I managed to keep on top of my work and finish it. So you can get an extra long summer just like the GCSE one. But yeah, the staff, that's a really good one. They're really, really good. I don't think I have anything to say about them, but they are really good. They've been really supportive, especially with my swimming, because I do a lot of competitions, a lot of training. So having a lot of time because of that, and then also having to take time out of college to then go be able to swim at the competitions and stuff. The staff have been really supportive. Like, they've messaged me work, they've emailed me work, and they've always been around for me to ask questions to get any help from if I need any extra help or if I need them to explain anything. They're just really easy to go and talk to, and you get on with them really, really well. So yeah, they're really good. And then this year in September, I am going to Salford University to complete sport rehabilitation, which I'm really excited about. And just doing this course at GCSE, I knew I wanted to go into sport, but I didn't know what I wanted to do in sport. So the course was really able to show me what I loved within sport, because obviously I love competing and all that stuff, but behind that I realised that I like the anatomy side of it all. But because there are so many different units and different topics, it allows you to see all the different aspects of sport that you might not know of before, which was really good. But not only the course topics, but also the different qualifications. So we've done our first aid qualification, and we've also done a sports leaders level 3 course, which also counts as UCAS points or university. So doing that course, we've got 16 UCAS points. So on top of all the points that we're going to get with college, we also get an extra 16 for doing that course, which really just gives you loads of skills and loads of different stuff that you can use in the future. So yeah.
What should you do next? You might have some questions after listening to this. Parents, yeah, you might have some questions. Students, you might have some questions. Now, if you log on to www.trafford.ac.uk, there may be somebody there to answer any general questions you may have. They may be able to forward you them to one of the members of the sports team. Unfortunately, a lot of us are on holiday during the summer, obviously. It's a chance to take some leave. We need to recharge our batteries for the following year, so that we're at peak performance come September. If you do have some questions, I guarantee you that we'll be available to answer. Somebody from the sports department will definitely be able to answer sports specific questions from the 19th of August. All right, so use that time, and we'll answer them as best we can then. Okay, we're back in college from the 19th. Little tips: get yourself prepared. Yeah, make sure that you've got a device that you can type on, a laptop at home, maybe a desktop at home. Don't rely on using your mobile phone to work on. It doesn't usually work as well as a laptop. Okay, and as you might have found from this lockdown period now, it can be very difficult staring at a small screen on your phone rather than a laptop or a desktop. So if you can get a hold of a laptop in preparation for September, do it, because we don't know yet how the year will look. How much of the time will be spent in college, how much will be expected to work independently. All will become clear by November, hopefully. By September. Get yourself prepared, get some books. Yeah, get some notepad, pens, pencils, rulers, rubbers, that sort of thing. Because again, they're basic requirements for you starting in September. Be ready to order some kit. We have a college expectation that you'll wear college kit when you're on campus as a member of the sports department. Most importantly, though, enjoy sport. Watch sports clips, watch them Olympic Channel videos. Get ready to talk about the important things that are happening in sport. Yeah, why has the Premier League gone back when other countries' football hasn't? And why is it that France abandoned the season, whereas Spain, England, Germany, Italy have all gone back and continued their seasons? Why is it that the Champions League is going to start again in August? Why is it that in rugby, the Rugby Champions League is going to kick off in September? Yet cricket, a sport where there isn't much contact, hasn't started at all yet. You can't even play cricket in your local community. Seems strange. Anyway, enough from us, the sports department. As I say, if you do have any questions, log on to the website. There has been a chat link that's been available for you to send questions, and I'm sure somebody will try and answer it if they're able to. If not, good luck with your GCSEs. I hope you get the grades that you wanted, that you expected, and hope to see you come enrolment in September.